because I'm also, so besides being a psychic medium and intuitive healer, spiritual mentor, I'm also now proud to call myself an intuitive coach. So, and coaching, the difference between coaching and mentoring is where I help you, guide you through and give you advice. I can also combine the two, but coaching is more helping you figure out figuring out the answers for yourself, really. It's asking the right questions to get you to have those aha moments where you're just really like, wow, that's why this is happening, and that makes sense, and this is how I can do it, and guiding you along the way. And you can mix it in with mentoring or keep them separate. So the cheeky part with me is that I'm also intuitive, and I would get guided to the right questions to help you on your path, which is fantastic. And then your higher self tunes in with me as well, and it's just a whole big team of awesomeness getting you to where you need to be to help you with your life. So when I do the readings towards the end of this chat, I'll be asking for specific questions, and I don't mean specific as in can you help tell me about my career. I mean, what exactly do you want to know about your career? So have a think while you're watching about what kind of question you would like to post. And I've shared this also on my business page, Optimistic Xavier. So if you're watching from there, please click on the actual post so you can open it, and then you'll be able to comment, because if you comment from my page, I won't see it because I've only got 2 open at the moment. So thank you. I'm getting congratulations. Awesome. So I'm really loving it. It's so exciting, and I'm learning to be a speaker as well. I already do stuff like this, but I want to be a speaker that can talk to many people at once. That's really exciting, and I love sharing everything I possibly can to help people. So the more I get out there, the better. It's very exciting. So I wanted to explain to you a little bit of a model that I've been learning about, which is just my favorite, because I've noticed that most things I'm learning about are things that I've been talking about and I channel and teach all the time anyway. One of them is called above the line and below the line thinking. So I've got an example of it here, and it's amazing. We often get into the negative mindset, and fear is actually the natural state for so many people, and actually for most of us, because it's a protection. If we didn't have any kind of fear, we might jump in too deep and too hard into things that may be dangerous. So we sort of protect ourselves with being skeptical and wary, which is just a natural thing to do. The problem is sometimes we can get so deep into that way of thinking that it's hard to pull ourselves out and hard to be excited about anything. And then we sort of blame things that happen in our lives. We blame people, we blame situations, and we have all these excuses of why we're not doing well. We might blame our past, for example, and things that happen to us. And this might I might grind your gears a little bit talking about this, because sometimes you think, well, yeah, I act a certain way and I do certain things because of this happened to me. And I totally understand that and have so much compassion, but my job is to help you learn to get past that and just focus on now and what actions you can take right now, right today. Every minute of every day is your present moment. And so what do you choose to feel, and who do you choose to be in that moment, every second of every day? Are you choosing to feel the feelings when you're angry and stressed about something, and be mindful and analyze and think about, why am I feeling like this? Why is that upsetting me? Why is, when that person says that, does that irritate me so much and sit with me so much, So that's what mindfulness is. We hear that word thrown around all the time, but mindfulness is just thinking about what you're thinking about. Really, that's it. That's what it is. Always processing yourself, and it can take a lot of energy. I think that's exhausting. I'm always stopping and thinking. Every time I'm thinking something, why am I thinking that? And processing it and feeling it and analyzing yourself. So it can take a lot of work, and we can't, always do that all the time because we're busy. But at any time that you possibly can, if you can just stop and have a little think about why something is affecting you. Why is it making you excited? Not just the negative parts, but why is it making you excited? Hey, Stephen. It was so good to see you on Sunday. Thank you so much for coming out to see me at Buller Market. That was very special. It made my day. That was awesome. So some examples of below the line thinking, meaning you're feeling stuck in general in life. So if you're feeling stuck and frustrated, you bang on doors that just don't open, you feel like you're always trying, the universe is working against you, you will probably have a lot of below the line thinking attitudes. So some examples are being stuck. There you go. Feeling like a victim, feeling hopeless, blaming, failure, excuses, scarcity mindset, when you feel like you just don't have enough of anything, problems, procrastination, vagueness, yeah, those kind of words. So I'm going to do the opposite of some of those words to help you. So fear, for example, being in fear, the opposite of that is love. Complete opposite. So if you feel hopeless, focusing on hope. If you feel stuck, understanding that you have a choice. Is this making sense of where I'm going with this? If you feel like a victim, then turning yourself into the hero, your own hero. What can you do to change? Heroing yourself. Judging people or yourself, acceptance is the complete opposite of that. So when you can switch your brain and your mindset to above the line thinking, abundance, solutions, action, results, all those beautiful words, you'll be more in flow. And that's my favorite thing to help people with. Being in flow is when shit just works. Everything just works. Everything is just right. So being in flow, how I can explain it to you? When you want a car park right at the front of the shops because it's raining and you're in a hurry and you're thinking about that, and there it is, you get it. That's in flow. That's a little example. When you go for a job and you get the interview, when you just anything you're sort of thinking about, when you're manifesting and hoping for things to happen, that's being in flow when it actually just works. If something stops you and you get a bit stuck, there's two parts. It's either because you're attracting like negative things, or that scarcity mindset and fear and things to you because you're thinking about it, but also the universe will stop you and put obstacles in your way when it's not the right way. A lot of people think when the house you want to buy doesn't you don't get it, and somebody else beats you at the auction by $10,000 over your budget. Damn it, this isn't fair. Why does this also happen to me? That's the house I really, really wanted. How about thinking about it in a different way? That the universe was just saving you from that deal because there's something better for you around the corner. How many times in your life can you think back to when it's something you thought you really wanted and you didn't get it, and then later you're like, oh, well, glad I didn't get that then, because this is so much better. It happens all the time if you think back. So that's what the universe is constantly doing. You're uncomfortable at a job, or you're overworking, like working too hard, running yourself into the ground, which you're getting all these signs, being tired, you might get a little injury, you're just not you're clashing with people at work, and you're still not listening, and you just stay because you feel like you have to put up with it. And then, bam, a really jerk of a boss comes into work and is your new boss and just makes it so much worse. And you're like, seriously? And the universe is just like, are you going to listen now? We're making it harder and harder for you, so you go. And you're still not listening. So that's why it happens. And yes, big things like that do happen just for you because you're important. That's how it works. Waiting for you to listen. That's how your spirit guides and everyone gives you signs. And I'm getting some beautiful messages here. Beautiful. I love it. I've got 2 people, 11 local time, people coming up and saying, you just pop up I open Facebook and there I am, bam. Exactly what you're going through. Yes, this is your sign. This is exactly everyone here, wherever you're watching from. If you just popped in and heard 10 seconds of this talk or more, it's for a reason, and you're all together for that reason. It's just the energy. So just be nicer to yourself. Every time you think a negative thought, oh my gosh, I've got goosebumps. Every time, if I had $1 for every time I've tried to explain to somebody the importance of energy and what you think you create, how you talk to yourself, what you talk about others to, you're attracting more of the same, or you're keeping it around you more. So if I had $1 for that, I wouldn't have to work again. So, and I don't have to work, really. It just doesn't feel like work. This is just fun to me. I really love what I do. And this is what I want everyone to be able to do. Something that brings you joy and you enjoy it like you love. Like then you know that saying, and I've just got reminded that of yesterday listening to a podcast. It's cliche, but it's so true. That if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life because it just doesn't feel like work. So I've got distracted. So switching your words. If somebody asks you how you're doing and you're always talking about an issue that you've had that you haven't sorted or got on top of or you're worrying about, you're keeping it around even more. And I know it's sort of like you still have to get on top of things and deal with things, but you don't have to keep obsessing over them. What else can you focus on? What do you want to happen in your life? What do you want to attract? Don't talk about what you don't want to happen. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to miss this opportunity. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that, because you're attracting exactly that. The universe doesn't hear don't, won't, can't. It's not just the universe. It's just your body. It just doesn't react to it like that. Just talk about what you want. Say it like it's happening now to bring it into the present. That's the key. That's how it works. And you have to stick to it. You don't just do it for 2 days and then slack off. You actually got to do the work. So that's the trick there. It's just that motivation. So, follow my page if you like to get a big kick up the ass every now and then to remind you. Yes, good. I'm glad that's resonating with you, Charmaine. That's awesome. It makes me very happy. Right, so Gabby, for example, you just said, I am so terrible the way I speak to myself. I would love you to change that sentence right there from now. I speak to myself with love and compassion, for example, something like that. Even if yes, okay, I say a lot of negative things to myself, but just say the opposite. Because if you now say, I speak to myself with love and compassion all the time, or I compliment myself all the time, you'll start finding ways to do that. You'll start attracting that in. It's so many goosebumps. I'm so glad this is resonating with so many of you. That's absolutely beautiful. And that's obviously why I needed to talk about that. I usually just tune in the morning, or even just an hour before I go live, and say, what are we talking about today? And this was what you needed to hear. So that's fantastic. So, hey Ben, how you going? Awesome. I love seeing regular